Hello listeners, welcome to At the Heart of It, a podcast by Roxy. This podcast celebrates the stories of women in surf, snow, and everything in between. Join us as our athletes, friends of the brand, and incredible women share their inspiring stories. Get ready to be motivated and stay tuned for empowering conversations and uplifting tales that will leave you inspired. Let's dive into the world of remarkable women together.
Aloha everyone, welcome to At the Heart of It, a podcast brought to you by Roxy. I'm your host, Titi. Today we have the amazing and beautiful Maluhia. Can you please tell everybody who doesn't know who you are, who should know who you are? Let us know about yourself.
Aloha everybody, my name is Maluhia Kinimaka. I'm a professional surfer with Roxy. I'm also a graduate student hoping to get my PhD in marine biology. And I study corals with the Mega Lab, and I also study how the health of coral affects the health of communities in Hawai'i.
Is that it? Is that all you do?
Is
that all? That's amazing.
I can occasionally make a good joke, but that's rare.
So tell us, what have you been up to?
Let's see. So it's summertime now. Basically, what I've been doing so far is I've been getting my scientific diver licensure.
Of course she is.
Yeah, so I can become kind of like an underwater astronaut and do some really cool science research.
That's so amazing.
So,
I mean, it's so incredible and so inspiring. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely inspired. I fangirl to Maluhia all
No
the time
way.
when I see her.
Versus me, like watching you on Mary Monarch, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like the gold standard. I'm so socially awkward and I could never do a giant hula performance on stage.
You just did a reality show, Hawaii Surf Girls. Like, that was, it was called Hawaii Surf Girls? Sorry.
Surf Girls Hawaii. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just did a reality show of Surf Girls Hawaii, which is amazing. I can't imagine, like, what's life after doing a reality show like that?
Normal? I don't know. It's really like, the show feels very intimate because it feels like how we are now, where you're just talking and you're sharing your mana'o with somebody. Versus, I don't think people realize the amount of preparation, work, commitment, effort it takes to, and also knowledge, and really like spiritual calmness and alignment that it takes to do something like Mary Monarch and to dance hula and be a hula dancer, and as well to take all of that knowledge and teach it to future generations. It's an insanely hard, crazy time commitment, and you are able to do that. You're a teacher as well as a water woman, and as well as just like one of the most devoted friends I've ever met in my life. Which is really,
this interview is about you, not me.
No. But you're giving me these compliments. I'm like, girl, you do it all too. I think that's what's so cool. Women supporting women. We don't want to be the exceptions of just individual exceptional people. We want there to be many of us.
Right. That's the goal. And I think that's what's so special about being a part of Roxy is all of the sisters that I've made, the friendships that I've made, and how like we all genuinely encourage each other and support each other.
Yeah.
I just did an interview with Flora.
I'm really excited to meet her eventually, actually.
She's so sweet. She's so funny. She had, like, I learned so much just from our conversation about herself and from Bali, and she's like so excited to be part of the team. But one of the things that she wanted to express was how in the water there's definitely a lot more females than than before, and it almost feels like competitive in the lineup. Like it doesn't feel like we're encouraging each other, and I understand that. I can feel like sometimes that you're feeling judged, or like you're trying to get the most waves or trying to prove yourself out there. And with all of the girls that I have met through Roxy, especially, have been so encouraging and helpful each other, and like just kind of like pulling each other forward. And I remember Bruna actually telling me that one time. It's like, you don't get anywhere by trying to pull each other down.
No.
Yeah, you definitely will not get much further when you're trying to like propel each other forward.
Yeah.
And that's something that's definitely resonated with me. And I feel that anytime I'm talking to you or and even with Flora too. And it was so like special to like kind of all of those click and how we all kind of have that in common.
Yeah.
So absolutely. It's so fun to see, and especially with the new generation of girls of Auburn and Lehani, like they're all learning all of those things now. Like they're all, but they're also like, you know, in this competitive world. And it's so cute to see, like, they're all like kind of learning that. And
and they're growing together, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So cute. And they have such good role models like you and Flora.
And you.
And me.
Yeah.
All right. So we have some questions that, you know, we all want to know. I'm actually really excited that we're getting to do this because you're my first local girl to have on this podcast, and I feel like you have so much Ike to share with everybody about.
I hope so.
You do. I've already learned so much in the 2 seconds that you're sitting here. I just love hearing like you talk, the way that you pronounce Hawaiian words and the way that you carry yourself. Like, it's just, I learned so much just from sitting with you and anytime I sit and talk with you. But I guess, like, what are the historical and spiritual significance of surfing in Hawaii?
I think any surfer can relate to this. When you're in the ocean, you're connecting not just with the wave, you're connecting with the whole, you know, ecosystem. And in Hawaiian culture, we have the concept of mana, which is personal spiritual energy, and it kind of radiates outward as a confidence, a knowing. It emanates, you know. So if you have strong mana, you can just radiate this air of confidence and strength. You can get things done. And so mana, because it's spiritual energy, it's kind of like, you know, can't be created or destroyed. And the ocean also has mana. You have mana, I have mana. Everything in the world has mana. So I think about the roots of Hawaiian surfing is an exchange of mana with the ocean. It's a place that you can go, for instance, Pa'akai, salt water. Salt in Hawaiian culture is very healing. So you can release energy, but you can also gain it. You can gather it. And when you're surfing a wave, you're sliding He'enalu onto a wave. The energy and the momentum in the wave is transferring to you, which is bringing you joy, happiness. You know, sometimes it's fear. If you're surfing pipeline or taupo'o, sometimes it's like pretty scary.
I would never know. I wouldn't even, those words alone just gave me chicken skin because I would be so terrified of that. I just asked her one question and we got 3 Hawaiian words that I really hope that you all remember, and because they're very important. Mana. Pa'akai, salt, and He'enalu, to surf, right?
Wave sliding.
Sliding.
It's all about, it's a connection between yourself and the ocean. It's an exchange of spiritual energy of mana. It's cleansing it, it's gathering it, and it's using that to bolster yourself in any kind of everyday challenge that you might come across.
That feeling of just the energy in the water, like the second I paddle out, you know, and you start like just feeling all that energy into the water, it makes me so happy. And I would never even like put that word to it. We made a lei with Flora, and I kind of explained to her like that feeling of exchanging energy with every flower. Like you kind of want to get rid of all your negative energy when you're stringing a flower and have like positive intentions and positive mana, so that's what's going into the lei, and the lei that you are sharing with somebody else.
And that's the same with surfing.
It's the same with surfing.
Positive intention. And also, like, when you're weaving this lei aloha for somebody, you're putting that intention and also the things that you gather to put in that lei. You know where they grow, where they come from, what makes them thrive, what makes them suffer. And so you become a steward not only of that aloha that you're giving to someone else, but also to the aina, to the land that gives you the pua, the flowers that you're going to give to someone else. And it's the same with surfing. Like, you're absorbing mana from the ocean, but your kuleana, your responsibility from that is also, how do I put mana back?
Yeah.
So that this resource and this source of joy, not only for yourself, but for your grandchildren, onward and onward, can make sure it still exists.
Tell us, how do we give it back?
How do we give back mana to the ocean? I would say it's different for everybody. So it depends on, if you're a surfer, one of the most immediate and easy things that you can do, no matter your skill level, if you're going to go into the ocean, maybe every time you leave the ocean, grab 5 or 10 pieces of plastic and take them with you.
Leave it better than you found it.
Leave it better than you found it. That's a really easy solvable way to kind of immediately make a difference. If you're really passionate about, you know, fish, if you're passionate about eating seafood, make sure that you're buying things that are sustainably sourced. Even when you're at home, if you're around appliances, unplug them, because carbon dioxide is one of the main things that's contributing to global destruction.
Things that are not on.
Unplugging things. If you're at home, turn off your lights, turn off your AC when you're not in a room. Those are really small, like, easy intro things to kind of do.
That's so good. I've never heard the unplugging things when they're not. use.
Because it still dissipates a little bit of energy. Sometimes new appliances, they kind of fix that a little bit, but most of the time, unplug stuff when you're not using it. Really try not to use single-use plastics.
That's a big one. That's definitely a big. People are so aware of that now.
Mm-hmm.
I remember as a kid seeing a video of, I think it was like a turtle in one of those plastic rings that they
the soda
which
cans.
is crazy that they still make those.
I know,
but it has become like this unconscious practice that I will cut it. But like that was before. That's like it's just so easy, measure. Like just cut it before you throw it away. But now I'm like, if it has those, I don't even buy them. Like I try like to buy the cans that are in a box that are not without the rings. Mm-hmm. But that's a good one too. Like I don't even realize that why I'm doing it anymore. I just like know like
it's like automatic.
Just do it. Yeah.
And that's connecting with the ocean through surfing, connecting with the forest through hula, making lei. What it does is it inspires awareness, self-awareness, and awareness of all the things that come together to make this shared experience. And so in your mind, if you can align yourself in any way to protect or to be aware of your own actions, what you're consuming and how you're giving that away, that would be like kind of the first step to how can I take care of the ocean?
How can I take care of the ocean, and how can I like show my mana back?
Yeah.
In out of the water. Like not just when you go surfing or when you're at the beach, but like throughout because it's a lifestyle. Like this is not we're not just surfers in the water. We carry ourselves as water women all the time.
With that mana, that glow of confidence from the ocean.
That's really good. So in and out of the water, you can share it. Mm-hmm. Please do. Make those like little changes. I'm going to start unplugging. I'm like, I'm already like looking around at what's plugged in. My coffee machine is plugged in right now and I have shame.
Even something that's like, no. I mean, like, how would you know? You wouldn't know.
I had no idea, things that are off.
Yeah. The other thing too that is like something crazy that someone told me, if you turn your phone brightness even to like the lowest setting possible,
really,
then you use less battery like through the day, and then you don't have to charge it as much.
That's so good.
Really small little things like that, or even putting your phone on like low energy mode.
And it never needs to be that bright, anyways.
No,
like, it's obnoxious.
yeah.
Okay, those are good. Those are really good to know. So you come from a very iconic Hawaiian family, the Kinimakas, your dad's. Like he's so beautiful, and I love every time I've seen when Roxy showcases, you and your sister. What are some traditions that have been passed down through surfing from your family?
Oh gosh, I mean, stories, mo'olelo, are some of the biggest things that were passed down to us, and this is not even just within my family, any Hawaiian family, or even people who grew up in Hawaii that are familiar with our history. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite stories that I learned about surfing from my family is I'm from Kauai. Mm-hmm. So I'm born and raised on the east side, and there's another beach that's pretty close to where I live called Wailua. But this beach, there's a famous story about a goddess named Kapo, and she's the sister of Pele. And so
I can't even. I'm so happy right now. Like all these Hawaiian lessons. Do you understand what you're watching right now? Like you don't even know. Please pay attention.
Okay. So and this is another reason female empowerment in surfing has literally been present since its inception. Exceptional female surfers in Hawaii have been elevated to status of ali'i or chief status, to goddess status, magical sorcerer status from the get-go because of their ability to harvest mana and like empower themselves. Mm-hmm. And so this story that I really like is one of many, but the goddess Kapo is the sister of Pele. She has this duality of like, she's a goddess of sorcery, but she's also a goddess sometimes of forest. And she is able to do crazy things on waves. And so like the story in Wailua is basically, she challenges these young men to a surfing competition. And she says, I bet I can ride a bigger wave, a longer wave than all of you guys put together with my eyes closed. And if I win, then you guys are going to marry these princesses that I brought with me. And if you win, then we'll see. She didn't even give them a choice because she's like, I know I'm going to
right.
win. And so she goes out. In Hawaii, they have these vines called pohuehue that are like morning glories is the English name. So she takes these pohuehue out with her to the lineup, and she chants and she calls the waves in from Kahiki, and she slaps the pohuehue on the top of the water, basically summons this gigantic wave, and all the boys that go out are challenging her. Well, they're men, they're chiefs, they're princes of Kauai. These chiefly men that go out with her can't essentially handle this giant wave that she summons, so they get completely washed out. They break boards, they hit the bottom. And meanwhile, she is, this Hawaiian goddess, just surfing this giant wave in Wailua all the way to shore. And so that is one of the many stories of manawahine, or powerful women, that I have really enjoyed with surfing.
That's so beautiful. So you like, obviously when you go out and surf, like you kind of like in the back of your head, you kind of, that resonates with you so much.
Yeah, totally.
She's with you.
Yeah. I mean, I hope I would be worthy of her being with me. Just this lineage of knowing not only Kapo, but there's Hi'iaka.
I've never heard of Kapo. Like this is so, I'm learning so much in this conversation, because Hi'iaka is the, obviously the one that you hear of most of Pele sisters, and Poliahu, right? Is Poliahu Pele sister too?
She's one of them.
So Kapo is like, I've never heard of Kapo.
She's also a guardian of women. She protects Pele in a few stories from being kind of like ravaged by this one Kamapua'a, this god. And so she's a little scary because she's so powerful, but that's kind of how all these women are.
Oh, they're fierce.
They're fierce and they don't take no crap, like, and so that always really inspires me. And like Hi'iaka, in her story, she literally chants Lohiau back from like literal death or like deep depression. And as soon as he's revived, the first thing he wants to do is go surf. What does this Mo'olelo teach us? It's like that joy that surfing brings to help revive even somebody who's very close to death or in like a deep sorrow. But yeah, it's so cool. So that's one of the many stories that they have about that our kupuna and like our families teach us about surfing. If you read Kanupepa, the old Hawaiian newspapers, there's like,
I'm gonna start.
yeah. There's like there's one. It's kind of like anybody at that time could kind of put in a little entry as to how they were feeling. They could write down a mo'olelo. They could record things. And there's this one entry where somebody's writing to his family, and it says, "I'm going on a trip to faraway land, and if I die because of some random accident, weep for me. But if I die doing what I love, which is surfing big waves, then rejoice for me, because I have like lived my fullest life." And like, so there's so many like little snippets of information like that exist
beautiful
about surfing. Yeah. And the full perpetuation of being a surfer means to be like a master ocean steward. To be a good surfer, you have to know the waves, the tides, the moons, how the shape of the reef affects the waves, the winds. You have to be very observant. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's a never-ending
journey.
It's
cool. Like I could this podcast could be 2 hours long, because like we can keep talking about this. For Mary Monarch, our mele was about Molokai. Yeah. And so we went to Molokai on Huaka'i and learned so much. Like spent so much time with a kumuhula that lives there, that teaches there, and I learned about Laka, the goddess of Hula,
the forest,
and in Molokai is actually one of the only islands where you can see all 8 islands.
Wow.
Awesome. And Ni'ihau, which is the furthest, you can't like actually see, but at sunset you can see the outline, its shadow.
Wow,
so that's cool. The only island that you could see all 8 islands. And so Laka, who's the goddess of Hula, that's how she told stories of all the islands. She was the only one who could see all of them. And that's how they spread stories. And I was like, this is so, I love like learning so much, because it like that I will take with me forever.
Yeah.
And learning now about Kapo, it's like, that's so special that I would not have known. On your journey, you meet all of these people who just instill so much of their knowledge, and then that just like shapes you to be the person that you carry yourself out to be. You get to hear those stories from your family. Like my dad's from Brooklyn and my mom's from the Philippines, and I didn't get to learn all of that until obviously like I'm born and raised here, and I'm going to school, like going to public school here. They don't really teach you a lot about Hawaiian culture. I did take Hawaiian studies in high school,
but I mean, there's so much of Hawaiian culture. It's like
you're just immersed in it. Like you very have to like, if you're not picking up on it, then you're failing. You should be. You should really be like, we're surrounded by it. You should be aware. Like anytime that anybody is talking to you or sharing with you, that is so important to one, take with you, but then share that. Right? You've just given me a gift. I can't just like hold on to that. And I feel like that's so much things about with surfing, with hula, with anything, that whatever it is gifted to you is not yours to keep, right? It's yours to share. And I'm so like, that's so important in your family that has been able to pass down those stories. I lost my mom when I was 29 and she surfed and danced hula.
She's beautiful.
She's so beautiful. Thank you. And she taught me actually to dance hula when I was little, but she never took me surfing. when she had kids, like my dad was so fearful of like going out in the water and going in the sea. Like that was just not
That's valid. That's valid because the ocean can be like
it can be scary,
calm and beautiful, and it can be scary.
It can be scary, and she never took me out surfing, and I didn't even know that she surfed until after she passed. And I was like going through all these photos of her, and there's so many photos of her surfing. She's like photos like a bunch of trophies that she won, and I had no idea. So it's so it's so fortunate to get to know these stories and hear it from your family so that you can then pass it down to your future children.
Yeah, and it's another layer of depth too, where it's like this is literally what your kupuna have been doing since before Hi'iaka Ikapoliopele was even a person or a being or a thought. The perpetuation and the sharing of that makes it more enriching. I think for me as a Hawaiian professional surfer.
This is all too much. I feel like I can't even explain what is happening and how good this is to share.
I hope it translates well.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I got it, so I think that's enough. If you guys get it, that's on you.
I guess the biggest thing that I'll say that most of my research focuses on is surfing is like being a master steward for the ocean. And right now, more than ever, the ocean and the planet really, really needs our help, like critically. As we know, by 2100, there's going to be minimum 3 feet of sea level rise. So that means most of our communities in Hawaii and anywhere across the world are essentially going to be underwater. The only way that we can mitigate or reduce this is to try to really minimize how much energy, how much carbon we're using. Again, just unplugging your devices. If you can carpool, if you can walk places, if you can stop using single-use plastics, or if you can buy food or grow your own food, locally sourced things, that would be pretty much the greatest gift you could give to our planet, to give back, because
and they're very little steps that you can that are really like you could really do and implement into your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And think about all these treasured spots: Te Aupo'o, Pipeline, Peahi, Jaws, all of our surf spots around the world. If we get 3 feet more water consistently, they might be gone. Yeah, there might be no more surf spots. There would be new surf spots to come in, but everything that all the places we know and love and cherish are going to be completely different. Yeah. So in order for us to all stop that, we're going to have to do something.
Anything.
Do
anything.
Yeah, please do something.
Do one of those things.
It's not an option
so simple
anymore.
For you.
We really need you to do these things.
You do a lot of research for the ocean awareness, and you dive a lot. And I know that you do a lot with your other sponsors about reef awareness and growing reef, and how, like, what are all the things that are important in preserving Aina and the Kai? Like, what can we do?
I think if you want to do more than just the simple things like unplugging, reducing carbon, carpooling, if you want to do more than that, there are so many global initiatives that you can join. Because I'm a surfer and a scientist, and I do research through the Mega Lab and through UH Manoa, I have more privilege and responsibility to be able to do things like go on scientific dives, go on deep dives to look at different species of coral. But literally, like, the Surfrider Foundation is great. That's a great place to start. If you want to get weekly, bi-weekly updates on initiatives that they're doing, whether that's like beach cleanups, organizing things like that yourself is great as well. Really, I think the biggest thing that you can do is education. So if you can take out your phone and Google what problems we're facing as a planet and get an understanding of that and how your life specifically is impacting it, and then shift that in order to kind of meet these needs or connect with people who are doing some type of restoration that you're invested in, that you're interested in, I think that would be incredible. That's like the gold standard that we probably all really need to execute in order to save our planet.
And easy.
Everybody,
it's doable, guys.
It's doable. But, being a human being on the planet is expensive. Surfing is an expensive sport. Time is very precious nowadays. If you have the time and the accessibility, you can do as much as you want,
Let's do a rapid fire questionnaire with Maluhia to try to get to know her a little better. Ready?
Yes.
That's not my first question.
Yes? Okay.
All right. Lefts or rights?
Rights.
If you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Bananas?
Good one. Substantial.
Yeah.
Majority of your clothes are what color?
White, I think.
But black.
Black.
But like not like that's my favorite color is pink, but all my clothes are black.
Yeah.
Bikini or one piece?
Bikini.
Song on repeat.
That one's a hard one because I'm embarrassed of what song it is.
Most of us are. It's never something like really cool. But what is it?
It's just like,
because mine is stupid too.
No, what is yours?
It's you tell me yours first.
I just really like Green Day, so I've been recently listening to like American Idiot by Green Day. But
I'm like, that's so embarrassing. That's so cool. Like, did you have any idea that we had a punk rocker? I love Green Day. Mine is not as cool as Green Day.
What is that?
Mine is this song from the Goofy movie.
What song is it?
It's called "Stand Out" by Tevin Campbell.
Okay, I know the one. Cute. That's
and
awesome.
That's like my favorite song. Like anytime I'll like want to hype myself up or like get if I'm like feeling down, like that's the song I'll put on, and I just feel so much better. Yeah. But yeah, from the Goofy movie, not as cool as Green Day. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I think teleportation.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to hear everyone's like different.
What was the craziest one?
I've gotten a lot of breathe underwater.
Whoa,
right? That's such a smart one. Mine's always like fly. Yeah. You're right. You can breathe underwater because you're a diver.
Yours was fly?
Mine is fly, but that's so basic.
No, it's not. Because teleportation is the same thing. It's just like...
But that's better than flying. It's like none of the work. Like, I want to be in Paris right now. I don't have to fly there.
No, but then that's like all business versus yours is like joy. You know? Freedom and joy. Mine is like...
Yours is straight. We don't have time for that. Just get me there. Who is one person you would love to meet?
I would love to meet Michelle Obama.
A classy lady, of course.
A classy lady.
Of course. Women empowering women. And who do you want to meet? An empowering woman. Of course you do. If you're not surfing, what are you doing?
I'm probably diving, or I'm working on research for school.
Of course. Yeah. Of course she is. Not what do you want to be when you grow up? That's actually, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be you when I grow up.
Geez, a mother. I would love to. Yeah, eventually.
That's so sweet.
A mother. Yeah.
Okay, if you could take a selfie with any animal, what would it be?
Ooh, definitely gonna do humu humu nuku nuku apua.
That's you can probably do that. Yeah, you should do that, and then tag us.
Like low key, the humus are vicious. They don't.
Are they?
Yeah,
they're not friendly.
No, I've been attacked by one at least 3 times.
And that's the one you want to take a selfie with? Of course.
Yes, because they're choosy, you know. They're not going to give you the selfie. You have to earn it.
I love that. I love that.
But yeah, they're funny.
You got to earn it. So you got to earn that selfie.
They're very territorial. They're like a kinola of Kamapua, so they're like up to mischief. They give you problems if you come in their zone. So wait, what would you do?
An elephant.
Oh, cute. That's amazing.
Okay, favorite holiday?
Ooh, Halloween.
I love that. That's the first time I've gotten Halloween as an answer. Because it's such a fun, like, nonsense holiday.
It's such a nonsense holiday. And selfishly, it's because it's the closest one to my birthday.
In Bali, I asked Flora this question, and I, like, love learning so much about everybody's culture. Mm-hmm. They have a holiday called Silent Day.
What?
Yes, where you literally stay home. Everything's closed.
I think I've seen this before. Yeah.
And you just stay home, you disconnect, you turn off all your electronics, and you are just like present and spend the day. And I'm just like,
that's so cool.
That's so cool. Like we need to get our shit together because I'm like, all of our holidays are always like, you got to do this, you got to buy that, you got to put some non-native tree in your house and decorate it with plastic.
I know. Now I'm like, oh, I should have picked some hakuokoa. Nah, Halloween.
Wait. But now you have to explain what's Laukuokoa.
Laukuokoa is a Hawaiian Independence Day. So it was basically a day.
That's a good one. Yeah. See, now we have to change the answer. That's a little more.
Yeah. So it was like a day that we were like falsely annexed by a foreign power. And essentially through a mix of like political negotiation and whatnot. And also just having a really strong like independent country base, we gained our independence back. So Laukuokoa.
Favorite holiday.
Yeah.
We have 2.
We have 2.
You can have 2.
Selfishly Halloween.
Communally,
right?
For the lahui.
Yeah.
Okay. Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
a classic. I use Instagram a lot more, definitely. But if I'm just like scrolling and zoning out, it's TikTok, selfishly. Dream destination.
The Mentawais.
Have you ever been?
Bali. No, I've never been.
Mm-mm. We should plan a surf.
That would be awesome.
And now Flora can host us.
Flora, please.
Take us to Bali. Show us where it's at. Greatest fear.
I think my greatest fear is not leaving the planet good for my children and my grandchildren, honestly. Not picturing a world where they couldn't experience the same things that I did because I didn't do enough.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why I love you, Malu, because you would really, only you would take such a question and make it such like this beautiful answer. Aww. I would have said bugs. Like, I'm scared of bugs. And then moved on to the next one. But like, it's so like, that's exactly what I love so much about you. Just like how intentional you are about,
thank you.
About just being. You're just an intentional being.
Oh, thank you.
I'm scared of bugs.
I'm also scared of bugs. Specific snakes. Oh my gosh, snakes. Because we don't have those here.
You've been to Tabora or Fiji?
Yeah, the water snakes.
The water snakes? Like, I'm already scared of like what's under me. I don't need to add another creature. A snake was not the thing that I would have to worry about.
A snake on land bound by like 2 dimensions is like terrifying enough. A snake in the water that can go freely.
Right, under, on top, around, through. Yeah. No, thank you.
No,
pass on that. Any hidden talents that we don't know about?
I can actually sing okay, but I'm shy, so I don't want to do it.
You don't want to take a moment to. Okay, well, we'll go karaoke one day.
Yeah,
and then we'll film that. I'll drop that clip.
Then my hidden talent.
A singer, I love that. I had no idea. Now we definitely have to go karaoke.
Yeah.
What's a hobby outside of surfing?
Hobby outside of surfing that I really like doing. I actually love design. I love architecture.
That's what I remember. Didn't you go to school for architecture?
I went to school for engineering. But it was kind of like, it's like environmental / structural engineering. Mm-hmm. So then when I was working as an architect, it was really fulfilling for me to like, just like you said, the intentionality. Mm-hmm. My personality is like that. And so I just like to make spaces that make people feel better. You know, like I like, and that's why I like design. Yeah. No, I'm not an architect like licensed, but I did spend a bit of time doing that.
That's amazing. Are you still going to school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's your favorite subject in school?
Ooh, I think computer science.
Computer science.
Yeah. There's like, for science, you do quite a bit of like statistics with computer science, and that's my favorite, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Besides my name, which we all know and love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other siblings?
No, I don't. But I have like about 15 small cousins.
That are all like, they're all siblings.
Yeah.
They're so close.
I love all of them.
Besides aloha, what is your favorite Hawaiian word or phrase that you find yourself using the most?
I like pilina, which is like relationship. Because it's just like, pili is also a part of my name, but pili is to be close with something. Instead of just like in English where it's like, a relationship. It's a closeness like you would have with a friend. Mm-hmm. And I really like that. And I like the thought and the intention behind that too.
That is a really beautiful word. Pilina and hula. Pilina is always.
Yeah. Like coming together.
It's always this motion.
Yeah.
It's exactly that.
Yeah. And it's a concept that you can share with people and like with everything around you. Aina, places.
All right. And what is the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice that I have ever gotten was wear a helmet at Pipeline.
That's good advice.
It saved me from cracking my head open on the reef. As well as from my mom, I would say, know that you can. With work, know that you can do something. And I think those are the 2 best pieces of advice I've ever received.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
That is really good advice. I'll take that too. I heard this quote that's, if you believe you can or believe you can't.
Yeah.
You're right.
Precisely.
Just believing in yourself. And if you put that intention, whatever your intention is that you put out to the universe, that's exactly what you'll put out.
Back.
And that's what you'll get back.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're done. Do you feel good? Do you feel like,
is
there anything?
That's mental. Yeah.
All right, good. So thank you so much for coming and doing this podcast with me, because I love doing this in person. Or, doing it on Zoom or with the girls that are not here. It's so special to do. because we're capable in this day and age
Mm-hmm.
like how to like bring us all together through technology, but it's so special to do in person because there's so much I feel like we've covered that we didn't even mean to cover because
totally.
there's just like it's just I loved it.
natural.
It's so natural, and I'm so glad that you came and shared all of that with us.
Oh, thank you. And as always, I love talking to you, whether it's for an interview or just in general. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but Tiara is one of the most loving, uplifting people to be around. I'm not joking.
Thanks, Malu.
Yeah. And I always look to you because you're such a light, and you have this like innate ability to build community wherever you go. And I'm not joking. Whether it's like in surfing, whether it's hula, you just attract light. I'm not joking.
Thank you so much, Maluhia.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know
I'm
that
gonna cry, so we're gonna go now because
I love TT.
I love you too. Thank you so much for joining us today on At the Heart of It with Roxy. Let us know if you have any questions or if anything we missed with Maluhia that you want to ask again, because I'll do this again. We could do this all day.
Yeah.
All right. Aloha, everyone.
All right. Aloha.